Hey everybody, it's Rhiannon. It's Tuesday at Witches of the Moon. This week's topic is favorite movie witches. I'm going to start out by saying that in order for me to really enjoy a movie about magic or witchcraft, it doesn't matter if it's like something that's supposed to be off the charts well written. What I look for in a movie is when it's about magic is that while I'm watching it, I want to feel like I am a part of that magic. There's a certain feeling that you get when you watch movies like The Craft and when you watch movies like Practical Magic that you just kind of feel like you're included, if that makes sense. And it doesn't matter whether it's, the best movie in the world or not. You have to feel that. Movie magic, I guess, is kind of what it boils down to. So really quick, I'm going to tell you my top 5 movie witches. And I don't even know if I can do it necessarily by the actual witches or witches in movies, because I can't say just one of the witches from The Craft. All of the witches from The Craft help make that movie what it is. So I'm going to go with The Craft. The Craft was one of the first movies that really, to me, showed witchcraft for what it was. While it did have some Hollywood magic in it, when it came to her changing her hair color and her physical form and this and the other, a lot of what was said was really concentrated heavily on what we read in the books that we read as we're learning. And I really appreciated that. And it was like one of the first movies to me that didn't water down witchcraft. My second would be the Owen sisters from Practical Magic. I think that is another one where it kind of did what The Craft did, but then topped it. Because while there were certain things in it, the blowing of the candle to turn it on and things like that, that was so much more witchcraft than what you would typically get back when my third movie, which was Witches of Eastwick, came out. They were witches and they did things that were occult-like, and they conjured things, but you didn't see them do what you see the witches and Practical Magic do. They didn't have a book of shadows. They didn't have all of these things. They didn't look. They didn't. I don't even want to say look the part, because the witches in Practical Magic didn't like look the part. They were normal looking, meaning they didn't look like the Wicked Witch of the West. But they still. It was very loosely witchcraft, I guess. But that is still one of my favorite movies with witches in it. And it's just one of those movies that makes me feel happy and magical when I watch it. So that's why it's reached in my top 5. I can't do a top 5 without including the Wicked Witch of the West. I'm pretty sure that she was the first witch that I ever watched. And growing up, I just loved the Wicked Witch. I was the Wicked Witch for Halloween for 2 or 3 years. Green skin and all. But there was just something about her that I really liked. And that movie is another one that just made me feel really good when I watched it. It made me feel like I was a part of the magic. And my last movie may surprise you, because I don't think a lot of people really consider it to be witchcraft, but not in the traditional sense of things like The Craft and Practical Magic, but Labyrinth. I never felt more magical than when I was watching Labyrinth when I was little. The fairies, the magic that David Bowie's character encompassed, all of it was just perfection to me. And he's probably one of my favorite movie witches. And they never say that he's a witch, but he is. And I just really love Labyrinth. And what is really cool is growing up, and when I got into tarot cards, the Heart of the Fairy, and I just believe it's just the Fairy Oracle, were designed by the same man who helped do the puppets in Labyrinth. So it's nice to know that that's kind of come full circle for me. It's something that I grew up watching and loving the artwork of, and something that made me feel so good as a child and so full of magic is still in my life today. So those are my favorites. I'd like to hear your favorites and why, and what it means to you to have a good witch movie. Um, what makes a movie good for you. I will see you guys next week, and blessed be.